On Japan. It's a super windy day here in Japan. Super windy but super beautiful. Nice blue skies, nice and cool, not too hot, not too cold. And riding to the station right now to meet my wife. So some good news and some bad news to share today. The good news is my wife is back in Japan, made it through immigration successfully, processed her visa. So if you've been a follower of this channel for a while, you know my wife has been going through her visa application to get back to Japan. We got it processed, changed her flight date. We got it processed earlier than expected, changed her flight date so she could come back quicker. Wasn't expecting her to be here for another 2 weeks, but we got her visa approved early, changed her flight, and so yeah, I'm gonna go pick her up at the station and pretty excited to see her. So let's go see Thuong-chan. Alright, so Thuong's really hungry from the trip. He apparently didn't eat breakfast yet, so we're gonna have a nice, delicious Japanese curry rice. Alright, that was some good lunch. We're back in the apartment now. I'm in the bike room, as you can see, and getting ready to go for a ride. Unfortunately, Thuong's not going to join me on today's ride because she's had an overnight flight and just a long travel day, so she's taking a nap right now, so we're not going to bother her. Anyway, I do want to talk to you guys and update you on the situation. Got some more good news to share, got some bad news to share, but it's a really nice day, so I want to go for a ride, so we're going to head out. Also sporting a new kit today. Great day, new kit day, wife's back day, and beautiful sunny weather, so it's going to be a tough ride though because it's super windy. I can't emphasize enough how windy it is, but anyway, let's get going with today's rides. So this is a good news and bad news cycling vlog. Gonna start with the bad news. So as you can see, I just arrived at the cycling course here and they just shut it down right when I arrived. It actually closes at about 4:30, but if you're in there before 4, you can continue cycling until 4:30, but if you get there after 4, then you can't enter. Even though it only takes about 8 to 10 minutes per lap, so you can easily get 3 laps in, but they wouldn't let me in. So first bad news of today. So let's transition to some good news. Let's just alternate. We'll go good news, we'll go bad news. And so the good news is Thuong made it back into Japan. She got her visa and she got her Zairyu Kado, so her residence card here. And we're actually really happy because she ended up getting the 3-year version, the 3-year visa, the 3-year residence card, which is great. Normally when you start out you only get the 1 year, but she was able to get 3 years. Not sure if that's because she's lived here for a couple years so far, even though this is a separate situation. That might be part of it, or also marrying to me since I have a longer visa myself. So anyway, good news is she has 3 years. But we have, again, let's switch to the bad news, and that is that she can only enter Japan once, so it's a single entry visa. So she can't leave Japan and then come back without having to do a separate application. We're not sure if she's able to change that status or if she'll have to do that application every single time she leaves. If so, that might be a bit of a pain, but we're going to immigration soon, so we'll find out the answer to that. She also doesn't have a work permission yet, so she's not able to work yet, so we need to go to immigration and apply for that as well. So not quite good news or bad news with those things, but those are things that we're still working on. The next thing is some really bad news, unfortunately. We were trying to decide how to plan our wedding ceremony here in Japan and invite people over here. We decided not to do that and change our plan to just do the wedding ceremonies in Vietnam and in America. And we were planning to go to America in August since I have a long break there and Thuong doesn't have work yet, so we could go to America and she could meet my family since she hasn't met anyone yet. And we were really looking forward to it, but after researching more clearly like the process for getting a tourist visa for a Vietnamese citizen or someone with a low-level passport from one of those countries, it's really difficult. And apparently being married to me, I thought it would be easier being married to me since I'm an American citizen, but it's actually more difficult for her to get the tourist visa, and they're more likely to deny it because she is married to an American citizen. And ultimately, it costs about a little less than $200. I think it was about $170. You have to pay for the interview and submit your documents. You go to the consulate, the American consulate, we'll go to Osaka, and they'll interview you and then they'll let you know if you pass or not. And really it's up to that person's judgment. But from what I've read online, there's been a lot of people who've been denied, and this is not like a rare thing. This is a regular common occurrence that people are denied tourist visas for their spouses even though they are American citizens that they're married to. So reading their stories, it sounds like you need to be able to prove that there's no incentive for her to run away. So that means you need to have either some assets in your home country. So for example, she'll need to own like a house or a business, or if you have like a good job, a good steady income, that would be incentive for you not to run away. But currently we have no house, she has no job, I have a job, but that apparently doesn't matter. She needs to have a job of her own, or some assets of her own. It can't just be mine, because there's nothing like really stopping her from running away in the US once we get there. Apparently a lot of people have been doing this, and that's why it's become stricter, and there's really nothing we can do about it. So we're not even gonna bother with the application now. We're just kind of gonna put it on hold until we can put together a more solid application and prove we have some assets. Hopefully once she gets a job here in Japan and we settle down a bit more. From what we heard, it's easier to get the residence visa, so I think we're just gonna start applying for her green card. We don't know the exact procedures for that yet, but anyway, she was really upset that she was just really excited to go to the US, and we discussed it, we had planned it, we had already started making preparations for when we were there, assuming we'd be able to get the visa, but turns out we're gonna have to just cancel all that and make some other plans. But all bad things lead to new opportunities, so that means we're gonna just do something else during August. So some ideas I have was a couple week-long cycling trip in Hokkaido, which is the northern part of Japan, and we'll make a whole bunch of new cycling videos. We might go to Taiwan for a few weeks, which I really want to do, but again, we need to check her requirements for if she's able to get there. So yeah, right now our two options that we're thinking are Taiwan and Hokkaido. If you have any other ideas, places, or suggestions, ideally within Japan or places that she could go, let us know. Anyway, it's actually getting kind of cold in this shade right now. Yesterday was 30 degrees Celsius. Today dropped down to 20 degrees Celsius. Huge drop in crazy winds, so we went from crazy, sweaty, humid to nice and cool. I love this weather. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Let's get continuing on with this ride. So while we're on the topic of bad news, hopefully no one was on this road when it collapsed. So this is one of the really dangerous things here in Japan. There's a lot of mountain roads and there's a lot of heavy rain. So yesterday we had some pretty crazy heavy rain. I took a quick video, so I'll show you right now. So yeah, you can imagine that much rain coming down here in the mountains and just all the pressure on the roads. But pretty nasty little spill here. This is one of my favorite local climbs on the mountain nearby me. So in one of my earlier videos we hiked and cycled Mount Sanage. This is another side of that mountain, and if you continue up here you get to a sort of off-road track, mountain bike course, which will lead to the same hiking path. So I've been there a couple times in earlier videos but didn't really explain where I was or anything. But yeah, luckily if you're on a bike you can there's still enough passageway for you to get by here and continue on. Anyway, I think that's gonna be about it for today's vlog. I'll add a little bit of the descending footage in of this mountain heading back. Just some people commented, they said they liked it in the last video, so I'll include some of that. Tomorrow is gonna be a pretty exciting day, so going back to good news again. Tomorrow we're going to the Sfidare Criterium, which is the first and only fixed gear criterium here in Japan. The first one was last year. I actually raced in it and made a video, so I'll add the video in the description here, and I actually won. So I have that to add to my fame, but unfortunately since then, I haven't been training very much since then, so haven't entered any races then, but anyway, I'll be going back tomorrow and cheering on some of my friends that I haven't seen in a long time. So I think Thuong's gonna join me. We didn't know she was coming back here until just yesterday. She got her call that her visa was processed early, so we instantly changed her flight for her to come back. And so I think she's gonna come, and it's gonna be her very first bike race that she ever sees, so it should be pretty exciting. Anyway, let's head back home. Alright, that's it for today's ride. I did forget one extra piece of good news, and that is that the two-wheel cruise, so our original cycling kits, our first test order is set to ship next week. So hopefully we'll be getting those in another week or two. And I'm really excited to show those to you guys. I'm really excited to test them out, and we'll hopefully be making those available if you're interested in getting one for yourself. But first we want to check the quality and make sure that they're good. Anyway, nice little ride today. A little bit of good news, a little bit of bad news, but overall things are going good here with us. We're really happy to be back together. And Thuong's still napping right now. She's, I think she had a really rough time, overnight flight and everything, but she'll be in the next video. Tomorrow we're heading to the Sfidare Criterium, so the first and only fixed gear crit in Japan. So it should be a pretty fun video, fun day, and hopefully we get some more nice weather. Anyway, gonna leave it here for today. See you next time here on Duo Cruise. Thuong's finally awake and revealing the content of her suitcase. Looks like we're gonna be pretty set on chili sauce for a long time. Chili sauce 買ってくれてありがとう。いいよ。